This episode brought to you by Tennessee Department of Tourism. Not only known for its hot chicken, Dollywood, and moon pies, we're also the #1 tourist destination for college students looking to get away from it all. Once you enter our luscious remote woods, you'll never feel the same again. So when you're planning your next holiday getaway, plan on coming to Tennessee. Use code HMT when booking a cabin to receive a free Sumerian book on tape. Hello and welcome to Horror Movie Talk.
An opinionated and accidentally funny horror movie review show. Go, 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 go.
I just took a stroll through the scraggly woods.
He had no face!
Horror!
Sabrina, don't just stare at it, eat it.
New theatrical releases always get priority.
But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible.
Wow, that didn't sound good.
Welcome to Horror Movie Talk! Pew, 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 pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Your panel of expert hosts each week are me, Dr. Bryce Hanson. I hold a PhD in spookology, and sitting across from me as always is
Dr. David Doy.
the foremost expert in scare no-nos. New theatrical releases always get priority, and actually can now.
Yeah.
Now that
theaters
that there is theatrical releases. But we also review older horror movies, both good and horrible. Today is a patron pick. We let a certain tier of our patrons vote for a movie to cover, and this one is the pick for May, which is, we're a little late, sorry. This is The Evil Dead, the original 1981 Sam Raimi, The Evil Dead.
The classic.
Yeah. So, before we get into the review, I'm getting acid reflux. A cool thing you might not know is how cool our fans are.
They're the coolest.
They are the very best community of any podcast that you'll ever come across. Go to our Facebook group. Mm-hmm. That's facebook.com/group/horror movie talk, probably. God, put horror movie talk in the search thing and you'll find it. Anyways, that and us, we're also across all sorts of social medias. And you can find links to those on our website at horrormovietalk.com, along with links to past episodes, our shop, lots of cool stuff that you can look at and support the show with. We should mention this is probably, let me check the calendar. Every second Saturday we have a watch party. So go to our Facebook group and find the link or the event there. Also check out our Twitch channel. We post new episodes every Wednesday. If you are a fan, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you use that app. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, call 682-253-4468 to let us know what you think, good or bad, about the episode. You can argue with us. You can tell us all about how we're wrong. Also, David has a very special line for a voicemail for the bodily fluids exchange.
That's right.
So can you explain?
Yeah, so you just call up. The voicemail greeting will greet you and tell you to leave a message with whatever bodily fluid you're looking to exchange. If you want to fart, if you want to burp, if you want to send us your stomach rumbles. We even have received a queef, I believe, which I welcome all queefs, great and diminutive. I think it's a funny sounds are welcome, and if you want to fart with your armpit and make us guess, I love it.
So that number is, I just dropped it.
That number is 252-228-4628.
So we'll start out our episode by giving a brief review and our score for the movie. We scale on a scale of 1 to 10. You know how that works. After we give our score, we'll get into spoilers and take a deeper dive into what we liked and hated about the film. Later on, I have a dedicated game for Evil Dead trivia, specifically about this movie. So, again, we watched The Evil Dead, the original, and
damn,
it was more pleasant than being raped by vines.
Most things are.
Here is the trailer.
No, it was the woods themselves. They're alive, Ashley.
I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her.
Loud noises!
I just got to say, I am a huge fan of goth gals that follow us on Instagram. Huge fan. Big shout out to Spooky Tooth. She's been a fan for a long time. She's very pretty. I like
Is Spooky Tooth, is she the same one on TikTok that we follow?
I don't know.
Is she working at a tattoo parlor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have TikToks.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's a pretty girl.
Very pretty ladies. I like goth gals. I don't know if I've said that in the past.
So
Anyway.
The Evil Dead can be rented on most digital platforms. It's not streaming on any regular subscription service right now. Use the link on our website post to buy or rent it at Amazon if you want to let us have a couple ducats from it.
For real, that does help.
Sam Raimi's Cabin in the Woods par excellence, The Evil Dead, stands as the paragon of independent, cult, and horror film since its release in 1981. Its influence is felt in the films of the Coen brothers, Peter Jackson, and Edgar Wright. Its dynamic direction and camera work declared a new and bold style for the 80s and 90s. But its real influence for independent filmmakers is in its success story as a bootstrapped production. The Evil Dead launched the careers of childhood friends, director Sam Raimi, and lead actor Bruce Campbell, which you probably recognize as Briscoe County Jr. from Fox's 90s television hit The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. During and after high school, they collaborated shooting short films on Super 8 film. This film began shooting right after Sam Raimi turned 20.
That's crazy.
And he considers it a rite of passage in his life. As first-time filmmakers, Raimi, Campbell, and producer Robert Tappert sought financing by shooting a proof-of-concept short film titled Within the Woods.
Have you seen that?
No, have you?
I think I did many years ago.
Is it very, very similar?
It's pretty similar, but even more slapshod feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The strategy worked, and as the result of many rounds of private investment, they were able to cobble together a budget of $375,000, which seems actually kind of amazing. I've seen like different numbers. Like it says that they started filming after they got $90,000, but it said Sam Raimi in an interview said the budget was $375. So I don't know if that includes marketing or not. Or like post-production or whatever. But even Bruce Campbell's family's property in northern Michigan.
Oh, this was on Bruce Campbell's family's property?
No, it was leveraged to finish the film and blow it up to the industry standard of 35 millimeter to be shown in theaters. So lots of sacrifices, blood, sweat, and tears went into this movie from that little ragtag group of friends.
So much more cool to me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize that Bruce was such an he's obviously such an integral part of Evil Dead. But
he's credited as a executive producer because of it.
Dang.
So it was shot over the course of 12 weeks from the end of 1979 to the beginning of 1980. It was a grueling experience for all involved. It was shot on location in an actual cabin in the remote woods of Morristown, Tennessee. The cabin had no running water, and the actors would go days without showering. Campbell described being doused with fake blood so much that he could only ride in the back of a truck to get home. And the conditions were so cold that those same blood-soaked shirts, when they were dried on outside, cracked in half when he tried to put them on again. The ironic part is that Raimi and crew decided to shoot in Tennessee instead of their home state of Michigan to avoid extreme conditions in the winter. As it turned out, Michigan had an unusually tame winter, and Tennessee had one of the coldest winters in 1979 that year. The makeup and effects created by Tom Sullivan were accomplished completely without CGI, relying on foam latex, corn syrup blood, and stop-motion photography.
I gotta say, I forgot how extra this movie is. It has been a good 10 to 12 years since I watched this original Evil Dead, and I did not remember the gratuity involved in the first one. I remember it in the second. I did not, and the stop motion in this is fucking disturbing. And all of the effects are almost Giallo-esque. Like, they're very gritty and gross and very dirty looking.
The low-budget production was creative in its use of makeshift camera rigging, such as the Vasocam, which slid the camera down wooden ramps, and one of the most influential techniques was the shaky cam, which was accomplished by mounting the camera to a 2x4 and having two operators at each end to roughly simulate a steady cam as they're running through the woods. This technique was used for the POV shots of the demons running through the woods, along with the final shot that was accomplished with a tripod mounted to a motorbike driven by Raimi. The Coen brothers used the shaky cam technique in Blood Simple after Ethan Coen was inspired as an assistant editor of The Evil Dead. Little known fact. The film is so gory that it was unrated and banned in many countries upon its release. The grueling and plucky production resulted in a unique and shocking film that has since become a cult icon in the horror community. It tells the story of 5 Michigan State students vacationing to a remote cabin in the Tennessee country. During their playful and drug-fueled exploration of the cabin, they stumble upon an ancient Sumerian tome that is a translation of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and a curious recording. Upon Ash, played by Bruce Campbell, playing the tape that contained the incantations from the book, the friends are beset by evil demons that possess one of them, turning them into an undead deadite.
Do they say deadite?
I don't think
in this
it's.
movie?
I don't think it's.
It's not intoned.
Yeah, I don't think it's said in this movie, but
yeah. Well,
people that know the franchise know that term. They eventually learn that the only way to kill the entity is to dismember a possessed host. As the demon turns the friends against each other, the remaining living fight to save themselves from torment, death, and vine rape. The Evil Dead is the film that all other Cabin in the Woods movies are compared to, and for good reason. It spawned an entire subgenre of horror that was so prevalent in the decades following that the meta-comedy horror film Cabin in the Woods had plenty to draw on in 2011. This probably isn't the first Cabin in the Woods story, but is definitely probably the most influential.
I always think about that. I go, were there like other big influential Cabin in the Woods movies before Evil Dead? And the answer is probably.
Yeah.
But it's definitely the first one chronologically that I can think of.
Right. I mean, does Friday the 13th count?
I mean, yeah, it's a camp in the woods. There's
a difference between a cabin, like a solitary cabin in the woods, and a camp.
That's true. There's only 5 friends in Evil Dead, and there's a whole bevy of campers in Friday the 13th. But regardless, both movies were in production at the same time. Friday the 13th, the original, and Evil Dead were definitely being produced at exactly the same moment in time. It's just Friday the 13th had big studio backing and got published first.
Even with the jaded eyes of someone that grew up on the films influenced by Raimi's directorial debut, it's still impressively violent, visceral, and darkly funny. What it lacks in character development, it makes up for in over-the-top violence that always keeps you on your toes. The special effects aren't amazing and are obviously operating on a budget, but they still work. Like a lot of 80s special effects, the grittiness of the practical effects still holds up today because it feels so real. Many of the effects in this film look real because they are real. They used live ammunition in the shotgun and a real chainsaw in the chainsaw scene.
That's crazy that they used live ammunition in the shotgun.
It's crazy that they used the real chainsaw. He was literally holding it close to that woman's chest.
Well, that's not as crazy to me because chainsaws... something that people don't realize about chainsaws is you can take the chain off and it'll still look like a chainsaw.
There was a chain on it.
Was there?
Yeah, you could definitely see a chain on it.
Was it? And are we confirmed that she was alive and that was her chest?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. The shotgun I get. It's like, yeah, why not? I mean, honestly, like...
The chain was on the damn saw?
From the looks of it.
Wow.
Like when he revved it down, I could see the chain slowing down. Oof. Maybe they took like the barbs off of it. Maybe it was literally just like a bike chain or something. But
even then, good luck. Have fun.
So yeah, it's you get some realism in this one. The acting is great, mostly because, like Tobe Hooper did with the actors in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Raimi was torturing the cast during the shooting with highly uncomfortable conditions on set. Actors endured being accidentally stabbed, scraped, thrown at objects, and more on the set. The discomfort seems to have elicited believable performances of people being tortured. Huh.
How about that? It always seems to work out.
Yeah.
They hate it, but man, it always works out on... Well, that's probably not true. Can you imagine how many just fucking terrible baloney bottom tier movies were torturous to make and never and not notable at all.
Right. The real hero here is Raimi. His directing style is what really makes the movie. The Dutch angles and the dynamic point of view shots throw the audience off kilter and make the experience almost like an amusement park ride. His artistic integrity and vision shine through with uncompromisingly violent and offensive scenes that have delighted horror fans for decades. Though Raimi has expressed regret for the violent sexual content, it stands as a testament to how far this young director would go to push the limits of the genre. While the sequels became increasingly slapstick and absurd, this film still has some really good dark humor. There's something about the Midwest's matter-of-fact sensibilities that create the uniquely dry and dark humor in directors that call it home, such as Sam Raimi and the Coen brothers. I loved it because this type of humor is the da to my Norwegian heritage's oof.
Wow. You're going hard on this review. Buddy.
While I haven't seen all of the films and television episodes of the Evil Dead franchise, of those that I have watched, they are stellar. This film is no exception. I do take just a couple points off just because it's unavoidable, the budget. It does really kind of draw me out at times. But it's probably the most impressive, like low budget cult production that I can think of. There might be some more. I mean, its only really competition is
Brain Dead.
Well, no, in terms of like budget to like effect of the movie would be the Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity. Like they had shoestring budgets and were able to just like make $1 billion basically.
So Brain Dead that came out, which was heavily inspired by this specific movie or Dead Alive. came out, what?
Brain Dead is Dead Alive.
Right, yeah. However you want to call it is what I'm trying to say. Brain Dead, Dead Alive. Came out 11 years later in 1992 and had a budget of $3 million U.S. And so this had a budget of a little more than a third of $1 million, whereas Brain Dead had $3 million. So, yeah, not really comparable in terms of quote low budget. I mean, still very low budget for what you get out of Brain Dead, but I mean, yeah, I think Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch are probably your most astute.
Yeah, so I give this one a score of 8 out of 10, and that might elicit some vitriol from fans of the horror genre, and especially of the Evil Dead franchise, but
you must have revised your score.
I did. So if you compare it especially to Evil Dead 2, like you can't say this is a 10 and Evil Dead 2 is a 10. Like this one is obviously of lower quality overall and less entertaining to me. I think it's a pretty short movie, but at times it feels like, okay, they're taking a little bit more time than they need to, even for suspense.
I took some heat in a recent review that we received on Apple podcast reviews or whatever it is for having the audacity to suggest that I would like a shorter version of Poltergeist. Ego much is what he said or she said.
I didn't see this one. Is it new?
No, it's just in Belgium, so it's not
okay.
It's not on the American version. But this is a horror movie review show. What we do is give our opinions. And so, yeah, Bryce may not like this movie to the tune of a 10 because he's comparing it to the second one, which is a higher budget and is essentially the same movie.
David, our opinions really matter. That's why people get so upset.
Look, we're very normal people.
Once we put our score out into the world, it can ruin a movie or make it better than it needs to be. So that's why the people leave reviews.
With great responsibility comes great. With great power comes with
great responsibility comes great responsibility.
Right.
We get it.
Right. No, I don't doubt the fact that I'm a very influential and important person who makes a lot of real controversial statements. But I look, we're just two dorks reviewing movies and we hope you get some entertainment value out of it. The idea that scoring a movie, the idea of scoring a movie is kind of fucking stupid anyway, in my opinion, because it's all left up. It's all personal taste. So if you want 10 times the amount of Poltergeist or 10 times the amount of Evil Dead the original, good on you. It's just that's your opinion, man. So I think. So I disagree with you, mainly just because of my personal experience. Big shocker.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first time I saw this may have been the movie that made me realize, oh, whoa, like made me go, oh, horror. Horror is a thing that I like. I remember being pretty young, probably in 6th or 7th grade, and not having been exposed to a tremendous amount of quote unquote like specifically horror at that point, and going, wow, this is wild, and just being so awestruck by it. And then my relationship with it since has been very sporadic. It's like I forget for many years, and then I go back and watch it and go, whoa, this is so jarringly shocking. And it makes me remember that thing that it kind of awakened inside me of just being like, wow, horror is fucking amazing. And so, yeah, for me, I think this is a 10 out of 10. Now, I like Evil Dead 2 more, just in every way, but they're not really comparable. I mean, they're obviously they're comparable, but they're just totally different.
Yeah, tonally they're completely different.
And
But you can still compare them. They're basically the same story.
I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I enjoy this a tremendous amount, and Raimi is a master at this. He's so good, and it's pretty impressive. Out of all 4 Evil Dead movie efforts, Evil Dead the original, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and the remake Evil Dead of 2013 or whatever it was, I can't say that any of them are remotely bad. They're all enjoyable and entertaining, and so I found this is a very entertaining effort to me. I really enjoy this movie.
So what's your score?
Yeah, I would say I said it 10 out of 10.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
So before we get into spoilers, just want to take a minute to talk about the sponsors that we love, starting with nightchannels.com. They sell hoodies, t-shirts, and lots of cool stuff that you can put on your body. And honestly, all I can ask of you, I'm not even going to ask you to spend your money there. Like, I'm just not even going to do that. I'm going to tell you to go to nightchannels.com and just browse. And I have so much faith that you'll find something that you can't live without, that you're going to buy something. And when you do, use code HMT at checkout to get 13% off your order, which is a great value because the shirts are already priced pretty well.
Yeah, they're priced well. They're of high quality, and really the thing that sells, I think, people on nightchannels.com is exactly what you said. You get there and you just see something you must have.
Yeah.
That's how good they are. You go, oh, well, I need that.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the horror genre, if you're a fan of metal, if you're a fan of the occult, or any dark thing or alternative music, anything with an edge, you're going to find a really obscure t-shirt or hoodie that you're like, God damn, if I have that shirt, no one else
will have that
in
shirt.
the state is going to have that, the Witch shirt or
Akira. I love the Akira shirt with the big explosion.
Right. And they're not like even the ones that even the movies that you do see merchandise for, it's not going to be the same artwork. It's going to be a unique thing. Like, so for Alien, it's not, there's shirts with Alien on it.
Yeah.
But it's not like these ones.
Yeah.
It
says a lot about it. Head to nightchannels.com and use HMT at checkout when you inevitably find the shirt that you love.
For 13% off. The scariest percentage.
Also, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so by heading over to manscaped.com. This is your public service announcement and the news you've all been waiting for. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed, yes, that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in the USA and Canada.
Let's take a moment for some applause.
Yay! This new trimmer.
You did it. You did it, Manscaped engineers. Good for you.
This new trimmer was just released only moments ago, and we are one of the first to get our hands on it and share the news. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping.
Whoa. Say that again?
Yeah, so you get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Anywhere, if you're within the sound of my voice, as long as you're on the planet Earth and not up in a space station somewhere, you get free shipping with code HMT at Manscaped.
Wow, we got to take it. We got to take a second and have a moment of applause for that great deal.
Okay.
Good for you. Good for you, Manscaped.
This is great.
Great deal.
I'm one of the first people to try the new 4.0, and I'm blown away by the performance, the craftsmanship, and the details on the 4.0 are next level.
Let's have a moment for a round of applause for the performance of the Lawnmower 4.0.
I'm just along for the ride.
Good job.
Their advanced ceramic blade and skin-safe technology is so good that it almost seems as if Manscaped worked with Elon Musk's engineers to ensure that your testes are as safe as possible.
And if you're worried about your Elon Musk, they have fragrances and lotions for your skin that will give you a
Manly sense.
pleasant musk.
Manly sense.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the damn truth. I use it instead. I wish they'd come out with a deodorant. Because
I just use the cologne.
I do too.
I just spray it in my underarm.
I do too. But that,
Do you okay? Pause. Do you actually use deodorant or antiperspirant?
Mm-mm. No, it messes with my skin too much. I'm not joking either. It gives me rashes, and so this the Manscaped what's it called, the lotion, the lotion,
crop preserver.
Yes, the crop preserver smells wonderful, first of all, but also lasts me through the day.
Yeah.
I just would prefer it in a stick form. Anyway, so you guys head on over to manscaped.com. They've been supporting the show for a long time. Use HMT at checkout to get 20% off and free shipping wherever you are.
Also, if you want to support us directly, go to our Patreon account. Patreon.com/horror movie talk. There we got several tiers of different price points that feature different exclusive content. Like my belches. You get more belches per dollar.
If you haven't had enough
Patreon
already.
Should we feature a tier? Let's feature the $666 tier.
The $666 tier gets you...
Which is the Spoop Lord, I think.
Spoop Lord. Gets you a shirt, gets you a guest spot on the show. It gets you... access to all of our exclusive horror movie reviews that are only available on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
It gets you access to vote on one movie a month.
And all the afterpods.
Access
to our drops. Our calendar.
You get a bunch of free stickers. And then also, biggest of all, you get a custom review of whatever movie you want that you own into perpetuity. No one gets to hear this review but you, unless you say so. And that costs a measly $666. Right. And that gets you access to everything we have to offer. We
don't mention this tier a lot, but when people ask us like, "Hey, when are you going to do this review?" This is how that happens. And you can be so selfish as to not let it appear in the public
on our RSS feed on our podcast.
So that's the price of our souls.
Quite frankly, we'll suck your goddamn dick if you sign up for Edgelord.
I will suck your dick. I will suck your fucking dick. I will do it. Just join my team. I'll suck your dick.
You can fuck me or get fucked by me.
So, yeah, I'm expecting that there's just going to be a stampede of people that get this tier now that we've featured it.
The value is off the charts, really. I mean, you get a shirt.
Yeah. Also, if you just want to buy a shirt, you can go to our shop at horrormovietalk.com/shop, and we just replenished our supply of T-shirts in all sizes. So it comes in black and red, in unisex. And there's a couple women's only tees. So this is our logo tee. It looks pretty cool. I wear it all the time, not just because I want to promote the podcast, but because it's a pretty badass logo.
They're very nice and soft.
Done by our resident artist, Dustin Goebel. He's a professional artist who fucks hard. He also takes commissions for artwork. Don't forget that. If you need a custom piece of digital art, whether it's a horror theme or not, you can commission Dustin Goebel, and frankly, he does not charge enough for how good they are. Go to him at dgoebel00 on Instagram. That's at DGOEBELB. Sorry, at DGOEBEL00 on Instagram, and make your artistic dreams come true. Tell him HMT sent you, just so he doesn't feel so bad for lending us his talents so freely.
He's such a wonderful person.
He's fantastic. He's not only just like a mensch for supporting the show with his art, but also just he's one of our best fans that I love hearing from.
He's and not only that, he is well versed in horror movies. Yeah. Let me tell you, we got to have him on the show again here soon.
Yeah. If you want to leave us a voicemail, call 682-253-4468. This is a real long mid-roll. Let's get into spoilers. Spoilers. So, Evil Dead. There's a lot that's just great about this movie. I mean,
let me say, I just got to say, you went fucking bonkers on the synopsis and review. I've never ever seen such a thorough write-up effort in my life.
Well, you had told me that you're kind of disappointed in how light my synopses and reviews have been lately, so I just wanted to make up the difference.
I did not mean this. This is so... I mean, it is wonderful, don't get me wrong. This is just so shockingly above and beyond that it's... I mean, it's not sustainable. I don't think. Prove me wrong. If you're going to call my bluff in this manner,
Are you saying it's too much? 1,000 words of...
I was so shocked by the amount of effort that I believe I was like, he couldn't have written all this, so I spot checked it. You wrote all this. As far as I can tell, this is... What did you do?
I wrote it.
What the fuck?
I wrote the thing.
God.
I can write.
I know you can. It's just... This is so impressive.
Honestly, I'm slightly disappointed because I wanted you to be more disturbed by the length of it throughout. Like, holy shit, this is long.
It is.
I wanted to hear that like 2 or 3 times. You did notice, which I'm very glad.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I would have felt really bad if you're like, yeah.
I was scared to mention it because I was like, he's doing a thing and it's some weird flex. It's some weird flex, and if I say something, is that the thing he doesn't want? Is he going to be like, oh, so now you don't? Now it's too much? And I'm like, whoa, hey, no, it's not too much.
No, you already said something. You said that I was not writing enough.
No,
for the
that's
post.
not remotely what I meant. I just meant, just no spelling errors. That's all I meant. And like. And like just the link in the link to the Amazon thing.
No, you mentioned the length too. You mentioned the length.
Right, that's all I meant. What I said was what I meant. I didn't mean for this to become some weird sort of passive aggressive clapback. But nevertheless, the thing you've produced is fucking insane.
So, anyways, The Evil Dead.
Yeah, this is
I think I've covered most of it already.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I mean, the review is done. It's beautiful.
I love the corny singing in the car in the beginning. It's like just the perfect choice to have this group of friends and 2 of them singing like fucking Kumbaya songs as they're traveling through, and having like the demon cam jump cut back and forth.
Yeah,
between them.
Yeah.
It really sets the tone for the movie.
It's weird. Every time I watch a Raimi horror movie, I'm struck by the effort he puts into the camera work. Mm-hmm. He's like, next to Hitchcock, Raimi is the most camera oriented director there is, I think, maybe. He's so... It's his thing. It's his calling card. Bunch of different unique camera angle and efforts.
Well, I think specifically for him, like the dynamic, like kind of running shots is a signature of his. Mm-hmm. That even in his big budget stuff, you see like him reusing some of these techniques that he coined in The Evil Dead. So, like one of my favorite scenes of his is in Spider-Man 2 when the kind of the origin of Doc Ock, when his arms start going wild, because like it really does for a moment feel like a horror movie when those tentacles are going wild and throwing people around, and it's very much like same kind of camera styling.
So he did Sony's Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, and Spider-Man 3 as well, right?
Yeah, technically they're all Sony's. They just let Marvel use them.
Right.
But so he did 1, 2, and 3. I think he did three.
I think he did. Yeah.
No, yeah, he definitely did 3
with the sex pest DeFranco or Franco. Are we?
We know James Franco is a sex pest. We're not sure on DeFranco. Who is it? James? Who's the YouTube personality?
Yeah.
Phil DeFranco.
Phil DeFranco. Yeah.
Not sure if he's a sex pest or not. I love that. Red Letter Media just covered Army of the Dead, and they coined a new phrase, sex pest, which I kind of loved.
Yeah, it's not sex predator necessarily. It's just like a tier below that.
Yeah, it's not sex pervert.
Is Franco canceled? Is he done?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I'm always shocked that Franco is around, period.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like he's one of the most overrated actors in the world.
Oh, I really enjoy him. I think he's just the appropriate level of fourth wall breaking corniness.
Yeah, I feel like there's other people that do it better, though.
Oh, sure, but not with that boyish, like, chagrin. I mean, so he's a poor man's Deadpool. What's the guy who's...
Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
but he's got a much more punchable face, and turns out he's a sex pest. So, I mean, I guess I was right all along.
I guess. I mean, I hope he doesn't come in and try and sex you up, because you would just punch him right in his punchable face. And I think he's pretty.
Okay,
I enjoy him.
So yeah, he's directed a lot of like major motion pictures, and man, his talent is so apparent. Can you imagine at age 19?
It's
writing and planning this movie.
It's unbelievable.
In such detail that you could pull it off.
It's really unbelievable. I got to tell you, I haven't seen a lot of Raimi efforts, except for the Evil Dead franchise and the Spider-Man franchise. I have not seen Darkman.
You've never seen Darkman?
Have you?
Yeah, it's a good one.
He produced the Unholy.
Yeah.
Did you realize that? He also produced the 2020 Grudge, and he produced Crawl.
Yeah.
Which I did see. I saw all 3 of those.
Yeah.
But that's not direction. So I didn't...
Yeah, Darkman, Spider-Man, Drag Me to Hell, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Drag Me to Hell is... Yeah.
There's some other ones in there that are recognizable.
The Quick and the Dead.
The Quick and the Dead.
A Simple Plan. For Love of the Game. For Love of the Game is a big one that I haven't seen.
Simple Plan is an underappreciated movie.
I haven't seen it.
That is like a really low-key, excellent heist movie.
Really?
Heist kind of thriller.
Oh, gosh. It's got Bill Paxton, Billy Bob Thornton, and Bridget Fonda.
Uh-huh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I gotta see this.
I gotta watch that again. Man, I've been...
Rip to Bill Paxton.
Yeah. R.I. Rip in peace. Bill Paxton. Yeah. I gotta take a moment and say, like, I've been watching some random 80s movies lately. 80s and 90s movies.
What spawned this?
Nothing. I just get so, like, paralyzed by choice with stuff on streaming platforms. And we have all of them now.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, like the recent ones that I haven't seen, I'm still never in the mood to see it.
Yeah.
Like if I was ever going to be in the mood, I probably would have been in the mood when it was in the theaters.
Yeah.
And then I just come across like kind of comfort food in these 80s and 90s movies. And even ones I haven't seen, I'm like, I'll give that a shot.
Oh, man.
And it's like, there's such a flavor.
Yeah.
There's such a flavor to these movies, even when they're bad. You're like, that is my upbringing, is these like over the top stupid action movies sometimes.
For me, it's these Americana, Chevy Chase, and Tom Hanks ones.
Right.
The Money Pit.
Yeah.
Oh man. You really can't watch or The Burbs. Oh man.
Yeah.
Carrie wants us to review The Burbs, and she's like, this is an episode I will actually guest on.
Man, that would be a good one.
She loves The Burbs.
Yeah. The Burbs is great.
It is.
Anyways, I'll talk more about the movies I've been watching on our afterpod, but let's talk more about The Evil Dead. So they come to the cabin. Spookiness, is already hinting, like the swinging porch on the swing on the porch.
There's a real gross vibe.
Yeah,
it's just maybe due to the way the footage looks.
It's real gritty.
It's real gritty and nasty. It just feels.
I do think literally it's gritty because, I wouldn't put it across that like actual grit got into the film.
Mm-hmm.
Like the film betrays the budget because it's obviously not shot in like full format. It's blown up from 8mm or whatever they use.
Yeah.
And it's got that like real rough grain, and it's a lot of the shots honestly are out of focus.
Yeah.
So it feels low budget, and
feels like it needs some Lysol.
Obviously, like they're still learning about a lot of stuff, but the talent and like the impulses that come through from Raimi and Campbell, to be honest, like are really impressive. Like they've obviously got the talent. They're obviously like, you can tell like the charisma in Bruce Campbell is so apparent, and the confidence of the directing is very apparent throughout too.
Yeah. Well, I forget who said it. It might be, don't quote me or anything, but it might be Billy. It might be Joe Bob Briggs might have said this, but you get the best shit out of people who have nothing to lose.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of that. It's just like, might as well make it fun. We scraped together almost $400,000 were no names, nothing.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the counterpoint to that is there was a lot on the line for this movie because they put a lot into it personally. So they did have a lot to lose, literally. But I guess there's a combination of that, of like not having a lot to lose in terms of Hollywood. Like there's
got everything to prove.
There's only an upside for this. It's not going to ruin their careers if this movie's bad.
Right.
But a lot also on the line in terms of personal investment and time.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'm trying to find. Oh, so this grossed a worldwide gross of almost $3 million. So about a 10 times return on investment.
It's
not crazy.
It's debatable because the numbers on this movie like are all over the place. Like trying to pin down what the budget and what the gross is for this movie is impossible. So like,
I feel like that's true of every movie. I feel like because of Hollywood finance and financial fuckery, I feel like nothing is to be trusted.
Right. It's kind of like the music business. It's like you do the math on like these CDs sold like 300 million copies, so that's like got to be like over $1 billion. And like, how much did the artist make? Oh, like 200,000,
$7 or $8.
Yeah. So that's kind of the case here, because I saw an interview with Raimi, and he talked about the budget being like 300 something, and he said that the returns on it. He said the people that personally invested in the project got their money returned 5 times over. So for the people that actually invested in it, like they had a 5x return. But he says like to really calculate it, he has to know like what all these distribution companies, he like distributed across a bunch of companies internationally and stuff, and like he doesn't have access to their books. This is like the shady Hollywood part. So it's impossible to know, but what you do know is that it was the number one VHS in the UK when it came out.
Wow.
Number 1 for the year that it came out.
Wow.
And number like 20 in Japan for the year it came out. So it was a huge international hit on video and probably in the theater. I mean, this was like back when there weren't a lot of theaters, and a movie like this showed in like dozens, if that.
Yeah.
So the fact that they could prove like $2.9 or $3 million return internationally and domestic is one thing, but I've also seen estimates of like 29 million.
Whoa.
It's like frustrating. You go to Wikipedia or IMDb, and it's like the estimated returns is 2.9 to 29 million. It's like, okay, well, that's pointless. That's meaningless to me, other than knowing that it made money.
You know, the finances thing is something that we don't touch on very much, and it's fine. That's the way we do it. But I do enjoy the finances. I'm going to by the time that this episode airs, I will have been on Nightlight Horror Movie Club podcast, and one of my favorite parts about their show is they care a lot about return on investment.
It's a Hollywood thing. It's like a big deal,
and it's
how much money it actually makes.
It's really fun to hear what the return on the investment is.
Right,
and so you should check out my. We reviewed It Follows over there, and that's Nightlight Horror Movie Club. I'm their biggest fan. I really like that podcast.
There used to be a website where you could actually research the box office, and it was like open to the public, and you could literally see like this. I remember
this way back in the 90s, like ish.
Not even that long ago. Like,
well, this is when I remember it from.
But it was acquired by IMDb, and it put it behind a paywall. So fuck you. Yeah.
Hey, it's what people want to see, so I guess charge them for it.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of good moments in this movie. I love that when they arrive in the cabin, they're looking around. The guy discovers the torture shed. It's like a prerequisite for any cabin in the woods. Like, oh, good, it's got a torture shed.
Oh, look at this.
It's a good feature.
Hey, honey, did you see the torture shed?
Which isn't really ever used. Other than like for the workbench, I guess.
It's the concept that is fully fleshed out in the second installment.
I also like it that it's a movie with 3 girls and 2 boys.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an implication there, and I don't appreciate your tone.
Nice. I think actually one of them is. I think they mention that one of them's a sister to Ash, maybe. I don't know. I might be wrong in that, but
I just watched the movie.
So shit goes down. Like they discover this Book of the Dead and inadvertently release all these demons, as one does. And all of a sudden,
the Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
All of a sudden, like basement doors start flying open. More swinging happens. More monster sounds from the woods happen, and I love when the girl's like, must be some sort of animal, when the basement door flies open. The guy, the not Ash guy, is like, you stupid bitch.
Yeah, he's so dismissive of her. He's like, you dumb
an animal, what are you, an idiot? It's like, I mean,
that's
the most reasonable explanation for a
lot of toxic masculinity
random
coming out of
door flying open.
He's toxically masculine.
Mm-hmm.
The one of the things that I like the most about this movie is in a time when slashers were the norm, and just wanton, just kind of generic violence against young people was how you made a horror movie. This came through with some really cool conceptual stuff, like the Necronomicon, like bringing some ancient evil, Sumerian evil into the world, like it being some sort of weird spiritual presence that inhabits the woods. Like, it's all kind of conceptually a little bit higher on the shelf than I'm gonna cut those people for fucking. It's like, this is interesting.
Yeah, it's almost like
mysterious.
It's almost like The Exorcist on steroids. Like the makeup is obviously influenced by The Exorcist.
Oh yeah,
like a very, very, greenish, extreme, caked on makeup for this movie.
Lots of milk vomit. I forgot all about the milk vomit in this.
And milk blood.
Oh man, so much milk blood.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just blah blah blah, like just fluids everywhere.
This is a bit of trivia. Did you notice when they went into the torture shed and they were finding the book that on the wall was a torn movie poster?
No.
It was of The Hills Have Eyes poster.
The Wes Craven original.
And supposedly it's like a inside baseball thing where in The Hills Have Eyes they had a poster of Jaws torn on the wall to signify that this is the new scariest movie.
Oh.
Like, fuck you, Jaws. This is The Hills Have Eyes. And The Evil Dead was like, fuck you, The Hills Have Eyes. This is fucking Evil Dead.
That's so
Suck
cool.
my nut.
Suck my nut.
Just one of them.
Just one of them.
So that's
the only one I got, but god damn it.
Yeah.
You're like a big dirty raccoon, David.
I just have some random notes while I was going through this. Like, I covered most of it in the synopsis. When the girl goes outside and is wearing a robe, I just had the thought of, like, who actually wears robes?
Lots of people.
Is there... Who are these people?
Who are
it's one of
these people?
It's like one of these garments that feels aspirational. Like, you see people wearing robes in movies, and you're like, yeah, that's a thing.
You tried parallel parking in a burqa, David.
Try.
I have owned robes, and I almost never wear them. It's like, yeah, I get out of the shower and I towel off, walk around in my underwear or something. Like, it's not.
So my father gave me. My father knows my love of fine Pendleton items, and he gave me a big, thick, heavy Pendleton house robe with a hood. And it's heavy.
Wow.
And I wear this thing when I get sick, or when we have a baby and we're just slovenly around the house.
So it's just continuing the tradition of woolen goods to infect them with Western diseases.
Wow, that is a fucking stretch, but bravo.
Oh, yay, David. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll wear a robe on occasion. You know, there are situations where it's like comfort food. It's just comfort wear. You know, it's like, I'm going to have a blanket on me. I
feel like I want to have a super luxurious robe to wear around, but I just don't. I feel like I'd feel guilty doing it. I don't know what it is.
That's how I
it's
feel.
It's like when you see people in like smoking jackets.
Oh man, that's the ultimate luxury. Like those kinds of like situational clothing that are even more situational than like a nice suit. It's like, oh, these are my golf pants. It's like, what the shit is going on? Just wear jeans.
Fuck you and your golf pants.
Golf pants? How is... Okay. Sorry. We're way off base here.
What are you... Is that a regular polo? Why aren't you wearing a golf polo?
Yeah. I feel like... yeah.
Gotta buy a golf robe. So that was a random observation. We should probably talk about the vine rape scene. It's probably the standout of this movie.
Like, so Magnus, our Swedish superfan and Filmklubben podcast host, he said, I posted a, if you guys aren't part of the Horror Movie Talk Facebook group, you should be, because you get to take part in fun polls like this one, where I asked, what is your favorite Evil Dead installment? And people were answering, and Magnus came at me and said, hey, you know, I heard that everyone involved in the making of this movie is essentially an apologist for the vine rape scene, or the scene, he said. The scene. You know which one. And to which I responded snarkily, oh, you mean the scene that's so uncomfortable that all you have to say is the scene, and I know exactly what you're talking about? The scene that almost makes this movie notable in and of itself, and is so gross feeling that everybody universally remembers it.
Yeah, it's like when you talk about Bone Tomahawk, the scene in Bone Tomahawk.
Right.
If you've seen it, you know what scene that is.
Everybody goes, oh, yeah. Or Terrifier, where the evisceration scene. It's all like, yeah, that's the thing that put it on the map. You don't have to apologize for that. I mean, I guess you do now, but I don't know. What did you think? Do you think it's too much? I think it's too much, and that's why it's good.
I think it dwells on it for like 3 or 4 Mississippi too long. Like it is gratuitous in like the length of it. Like it would have been so different if, like, when the obvious, like,
leg spread,
when the obvious phallic vine shoves up into her cooch, if it just did a quick cut right there. But
Ouch, David.
it dwelled
Ouch, David.
on it. It was like phallic vine cooch, and then she's like,
Oh my God, ew, David. Oh my God, ew, David.
This is all real time, and it goes on for a little longer than that.
Ew, David.
That is the part that's probably a little too far.
Okay, so I remember this scene. I remember my first watch through of it, and it's imprinted. You know, it's like tattooed in my brain,
Right.
And me having these exact feelings of like, Jesus, this is too much, and it's exploitational. You know, this is
Right.
is an exploitational scene in a pretty exploitational movie, and I get it, is all I'm trying to say. And if it needs apologizing for, okay.
I mean, what's more offensive, like being raped by living vines on film, or being surgically attached to someone's asshole
with your mouth?
With your mouth. I mean, it's debatable. Both could be considered violent crimes.
Could be
Crimes of violence.
You're gonna have to have a pretty good lawyer to pull off that
But
verdict.
yeah, I mean, it's so easy to say, like, yeah, we regret it. That was too far.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously like that can be the response. But
in fact, it may play towards there. It may be like, hey, go back and watch Evil Dead 1. You want to see what we're talking about? Of course you do, because it's fucking alarming.
I think Raimi has actually asked for it to be removed off of some video releases, but for the most part, it's kept in. But, you know, it's like the rebel side of me thinks, like, I wish Raimi would be like, yeah, it's in there. I was a pretty badass little kid when I made that movie.
Wanted to make impression, and look at who I am now.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who did.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it now. I'm a different person, but I don't regret making it in my lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, you come to this genre, the horror genre, to be shocked and appalled. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what does it?
It's kind of like stand-up comedy. Like,
do I condone plant rape? No, I'm strongly against it. Do I believe it works in a horror movie? Yes.
It's like stand-up comedy. Like, if it works, it works. Like, if people laugh, it's not too far.
Bingo.
If people enjoy it and aren't completely turned off by a scene in a horror movie, then it's not too far.
Yeah, it's a
like,
proof of concept in and of itself.
Even if it is too far, even if people are vomiting or running out of the theater, like, that's also a sign of, like, yeah, that was a good choice.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Jaws worked so well that it made a whole generation of people wary of going in the water? Proof of concept, people. The movie was good at what it was trying to accomplish.
Right. So, yeah, it is what it is.
That kind of complacency about plant rape is exactly why plant rape perpetuates itself to this day.
I know. I mean, the real danger is if you see this in an impressionable moment of your life and you develop a vine rape fetish.
There's a lot of cucumbers going where they shouldn't.
That becomes problematic.
There's a lot of cucumbers going where they shouldn't. You should see the lines at emergency rooms about carrots going in anuses.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Did you see what she was wearing?
Okay. Oh, no, Bryce.
She's supposed to be going out into the woods in a robe and not expect vines to rape her?
Oh,
okay.
Oh, no, Bryce. Oh, no.
I can't believe that Bryce prefers Van Patten's card to mine.
Oh, no.
Okay. I welcome your 1-star reviews.
Listen, I cannot understand you. It's crazy. You're a fool. I can't cope with this stupid bitchy. Understand?
So that happens, and rightfully so. This poor woman is like, let's get the fuck out of here.
Can we please go? I've been finagled by plants. Is that an underwhelming way to say raped?
Finagling victims. Jesus. So they try to make it out, and of course, the rickety bridge that they come over, that they almost fall through, when they arrive, they find out the bridge is out! The bridge is out! I have that sound running through my head all the time. Whenever I go over a bridge, I think of the bridge is out!
What is that from? Is that
From
Arnold?
True Lies, yeah.
Okay. I've never seen True Lies.
Oh, my God. Oh, that hurt.
Really?
That is one of the best movies of all time.
Wow.
That is one of the best action, one of the best action comedy ever. Like, and it's honestly the reason for Tom Arnold existing is that movie.
Well, Roseanne's the reason for Tom Arnold.
He's so good in that movie that, like, he earned his place in Hollywood.
Oh, shit. James Cameron did it.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, man. That is probably the best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Like, I'll go online and say that is the best. That is the culmination of 90s action.
Wait. You're telling me that True Lies is a better movie than Terminator Dark Fate?
The best, I mean, honestly, it's the best Arnold movie because it takes advantage of every aspect of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You're telling me that True Lies is a better Arnold Schwarzenegger movie than The Kid and I?
Was he in that?
You're telling me that True Lies is a better Arnold Schwarzenegger movie than Eraser? Okay, I just find this all hard.
I mean,
to believe.
Eraser is the best Vanessa Williams movie. I'll give you that.
Wait, you're telling me that Eraser is the best Vanilla
Wilson. Okay. So, wow, we gotta watch that. We gotta just like take a moment and let's just turn off the mics and go watch True Lies right now. Okay, I don't have time. Got a children's birthday party.
Remember
to get to.
Junior? I loved Junior.
Junior was great, and Twins.
And Twins. Oh man, Twins. Talk about that good old like just that comfortable zone. Twins is right there.
This bed is lumpy.
You're telling me that it's a better Arnold Schwarzenegger movie than Jingle All the Way?
It's close, but it is better.
Okay.
All right. So they find out that the bridge is out and they're fucked. So they go back to the cabin in the woods. And this is where it kind of like gets really crazy. That everyone, gets turned and everyone's their own deadite. Lots of stuff happens. It also reveals some of like the amateur cuts where you're like, oh, they didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
On reshoots, the non-existent reshoots probably. So like the only part that really drew me out was when the guy throws his girlfriend that's a deadite down and all of a sudden she's like burning.
Oh yeah.
And there's no like establishing shot that there's a fireplace there or a fire.
Right near the fireplace.
That was like the only really like, that's kind of a thing that they missed.
I tell you, the really off-putting part of this whole thing, if you're not like burnt out on horror, which I think I'm starting to feel a little bit like around the edges, is like,
what?
Yeah, I know. It's hard.
Watching several horror movies every week?
After 160-something episodes, it's just starting to get a little bit tiring. But fear not.
We could swivel and just make Horror Movie Talk all Arnold Schwarzenegger career retrospective podcast.
I have the domain for regular movie talk. We could just do regular movie talk. But no, the really actually disturbing part of a lot of the deadites in this is the amount of punishment they take while giggling on the floor.
Yeah.
They're like, and he's like bashing them in the head with a goddamn 2x4, and they're like, and you're like, okay,
Yeah, that is like the dark humor aspect of it. That's pretty great. Is like they're mocking him.
Yeah,
they're not just like evil and frightening. They're mocking.
Yes, it's you can't even come close to dishing what it takes to make me angry. I'm just.
I mean, this guy was a real jerk.
I'm just rolling in. Who likes the woods? It's in the scraggly old woods.
I don't have it. Sorry.
Okay, well, no big deal.
There was an accident.
So it ramps up more and more until like the finale when it's just Ash alone and being beset by all these deadites. I mean, some really effective scenes is like the dismemberment scene, like the first dismemberment scene with the axe. And I love that, like, for some reason, Ash's girlfriend just not on the scene at all when they're fighting or dismembering this poor girl.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I sprained my ankle. I got to go lay down.
I'm going to take a nap in the middle of this fucking horrendous shit. The size of the basement astounds me, but I love it because it's like an underground fortress that's bigger than the house that they're in.
Yeah.
And
the house has like basically one room and 2 bedrooms, it feels like. And the basement is like Saddam Hussein's hideout. So, well, actually, there's a little bit of trivia with that. The cabin didn't actually have a basement.
Shocking.
They just cut out a hole in the floor and dug down and put like a ladder down there for the actors. Anything that actually shows like the stairs or in the basement is one of the crew's actual basement, and something else too. Like I think someone's shed is used in it, or garage. So it's cut between a couple
like
locations.
a bunch of garages.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the main thing is like they're in the basement, and there are all these water pipes and all this like a ventilation tubing, and you're like, there's no plumbing in the cabin that you can see.
Yeah.
No indication that there's any kind of technology whatsoever.
Well, these pipes supply blood to the city.
That's true. Where's the main blood shut off?
Yeah, it just happens to pass through the property.
Yeah.
You know.
I love, and in addition to the girlfriend that's just like having a nap while like all this stuff is happening, there always seems to be, if there's multiple people in the scene, there's always one of them just looking.
Hey.
Just Ash is standing back while the other guy is dismembering and fighting off his deadite girlfriend, and Ash is like, huh. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, your girlfriend's like acting weird, dude.
And he's like,
oh, well, you know.
Oh, well.
So there's always, it's kind of like when in like choreographed fights when there's like 20 against 1, but all of them are waiting for their turn. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like what it is with the action in this movie.
Yeah, that's true. There's, and you know, you don't notice that as a kid.
Right.
At all.
Right.
You don't notice the 13, well, actually, you kind of do.
Well, that's where I notice it now, because that's where it feels like the fluff is. Like a lot of dwelling shots on reactions that don't need to be there. It's like,
again, that's kind of a Raimi staple is like, you know, Bruce Campbell's got some real expression in his face.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just starting to learn that now, like about himself as an actor. Like he's like, it's nothing like Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Where the whole thing is just like him being like, like making faces into the camera for
just really hamming it up.
Solid 13 minutes of that movie is literally just Bruce Campbell going, wow, making funny faces.
So
the end of this gets mushy.
The end of it's mushy. The last thing I want to call out is that I just found funny is that this cabin contains the world's heaviest empty bookshelf.
Empty bookshelf, but also the furniture, all the furniture that they use to barricade doors with. One of them is a little tiny little desk, and he just like plops it in front of the door, and that's good enough.
It's like a side table that would not quite hold a turntable.
Right. And then, but also they're forgetting all these massive open windows where you could easily just like step in through the window.
Yeah, they're massive open windows with wooden gables. They could just close those, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love that several times Ash is underneath these empty bookshelves that are already like broken in half, so they couldn't be that sturdy. But apparently they're just like, it's just too heavy. Can't get up. I'm trapped.
I don't take issue with that, and frankly, something about the windows being huge and right next to the door and easily big enough to fit two people through it at the same time adds to the sense of suspense for the whole thing, because you go, Jesus, they could just step through the window.
Yeah, he's running around the cabin, closing and locking the doors, and you're like, you're fucked. Like, what are you? There's a broken window right there next to the door. Like, what do you think you're doing?
Well, he's limiting access. He's making choke points, Bryce.
Right.
But let's get into the thick, mushy ending.
The thick of it.
It's the stop motion, goop and disintegration of the Deadites is so nasty. It reminds me of one of Dustin's favorite movies, The Beyond. There is
Still haven't seen it.
There is a scene in The Beyond that is so gnarly gross of a face disintegrating that it's stuck in my head, and somehow the Evil Dead disintegration stuff very similar.
Yeah. It's almost like a nature, like, decomposition documentary.
That is what it's like. Oh, yeah, like a sped-up, fast motion.
Yeah.
This is how a corpse composes.
Yeah, it's like going on Willy Wonka's boat ride.
Yes. Yeah. That is kind of what it's like. I'm reading Willy Wonka to my girl right now.
Really?
Yeah.
I just rewatched the original with Penny. She requested it. She wanted to watch the old one.
How did it go over?
Which is great. She likes it. She likes it a lot. I think they were watching the remake at school, and so she wanted to like compare and contrast. Man, I'm creating a little film critic over here at the Hanson household, apparently. Yeah. Doesn't like being scared. That much is apparent. But
yeah, that's why I asked how it went over, because it's got some spooky spots.
I don't think she was paying attention too much in like the boat ride spots, or she would run and hide or whatever. But she's also already seen that movie, so there's a little bit of the edge taken off.
How old is Penny?
Penny is 8.
Damn! I can't believe that.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I know. It's crazy. If we were still Mormon, she'd be baptized already.
Wow.
That's like the big age.
8?
8. It's like a...
get them while they're young.
Milestone. Anyways.
I call them baldies.
Jesus.
Get them while they're young, says the Mormon Church. Sorry.
So yeah, the ending is great. Yeah, the special effects really shine through, and it really ramps up really well in the ending. Like any kind of sense of like, come on, let's get over this. Let's like not dwell too long on these things. That's made up in the ending, which is pretty frenetic and crazy.
Yeah. I have stabbing dick pains right now.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it hurts really badly. I don't know what's happening to me. Continue.
Got to pee after sex, David.
I didn't have any.
That's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with The Evil Dead.
So now we've reviewed every single Evil Dead with the exception of Army of Darkness.
And the television series.
Well, yeah, but that's not a movie. I don't count that. This is horror movie talk.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry I make the distinction, apparently.
So let's move on to, did you have any other?
No, man, you got to watch this movie. It's such a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a must-see, especially for like film students.
Historically very important.
Or aspiring filmmakers. Watch this movie and be inspired.
Yeah. Be inspired with what you can do on a shoestring budget and, tremendous talent.
Can you imagine being like Ethan Coen, like assisting? I think Ethan Coen did a lot of the editing in like the basement stuff. And like he wasn't a filmmaker yet. And he saw this young kid that's like just barely like
an adult,
rolled over into his 20s.
Yeah.
And was able to shoot this really almost passable Hollywood film on a shoestring budget. And you're Ethan Coen, you're like, God damn, like I could do that. And so they were inspired.
Tremendously
obviously inspired other filmmakers in style and like sensibility. So it's a great movie. You need to see it. Let's move on to Evil Dead trivia.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is specific to Evil Dead. I've got 6 questions and a tiebreaker.
Okay.
So if you get more correct answers than wrong answers, you win the game.
Okay.
First question. You got to turn off IMDb. You can't cheat.
I'm trying to surf through to find sound effects on Jingle Palette here.
Okay. Okay.
On with the game.
Which author, after seeing The Evil Dead at Cannes Film Festival, stated that it is the most ferociously original horror film of the year, which is the tagline included in the poster?
For it to be substantial enough clout to warrant inclusion in the poster, I'm going to guess the man, the myth, the legend, Stephen King.
Okay, well, I was going to give you multiple choice, but you guessed it right. So,
damn!
There you go.
That should be worth 2 points.
Okay, over his years as a director, Raimi's 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88, originally bought by Raimi's father for the family when Sam was 14, has been in multiple Sam Raimi films outside of the Evil Dead franchise. Name 2 other movies his car has been featured in.
Boy, do I get Can I look at Raimi's movies? I can't even.
No, you cannot.
Okay, why? I can't even name many of Raimi's movies.
Well, we mentioned a couple.
Okay. All I can think of is Spider-Man, so I guess I'll say
there's one.
Spider-Man.
It was Uncle Ben and Aunt May's car in the Spider-Man movies.
Wow. Okay.
One more.
Maybe Spider-Man 2? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
It said it was in most Sam Raimi movies, but the ones that it was actually featured in that like was an actual like main feature was Spider-Man. It was Annie's car in The Gift, and Mrs. Ganoush's car in Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hey, so The Gift, that's the 2000 Gift, which I'm not familiar with at all. Have you seen that one?
No.
I've seen The Gift with our Arrested Development buddy.
Yeah, Jason
Bateman.
Bateman, yeah. Okay.
Do I get a half a point for that?
You get a half a point for that.
Okay, cool. 1.5 points.
1.5 points. I'll give you 2 for Stephen King. That was impressive.
Oh, we got 2.5
So really,
points.
you're already almost at a tie. You get one more, and then you win the game, basically.
Woo, boy.
What was the original title of The Evil Dead? Was it Book of the Dead, Army of Darkness, Blue Harvest, or Deadites?
Blue Harvest. Blue Harvest was a movie that messed me around. I think it's either Blue Harvest or Blue Monkey. I can't remember what it was. It was Blue something, and boy, it scared the bonkers out of me when I was a little kid. I don't think it was Blue Harvest. What was the? Go ahead and give me the choices again.
So not Blue Harvest. It's either Book of the Dead, Army of Darkness, or Deadites.
Let's say not Army of Darkness. Book of the Dead would make sense, but I'm going to say Deadites.
Wrong.
Okay.
It's actually Book of the Dead.
Book of the Dead.
Blue Harvest was the working title for Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
That's the title of the movie that they used on all like the production stuff, so people didn't know they were actually shooting Star Wars.
Let me see. Let me see if it's Blue Monkey. Go ahead.
Okay, what was the white liquid used in the Deadites in lieu of blood in some scenes? Was it whole milk, half and half, cum, or 2% milk?
Cum.
Wrong.
No, I didn't. No,
You already gave your answer.
That's not what the answer that I'm giving. I'm not giving that answer. I was exclaiming to your option.
How am I supposed to know that?
Because I'm telling you it right now, and you're my friend, and you believe me.
All right, fine. You get one more chance.
Okay, what are so you gave me half and half, 2% cum.
Whole milk, half and half cum, or 2%?
I'm gonna say whole milk.
Wrong.
Okay,
2% milk.
This is a very fair and reasonable question.
It's a fair and balanced trivia.
It was
set.
It was Blue Monkey from 1987 that fucked me around as a child. Scared me to shit.
Okay. Question 5. What dead animal was stabbed to replicate the sound of mutilated flesh? Was it cow, chicken, pig, or dog?
This is such a non-starter of a question. What a silly question. Cow, pig, dog, or
chicken?
Chicken. I'm gonna guess probably pig.
Wrong. It's chicken. They're operating on a budget. You can't just spend on pork. You got to get those chicken breasts.
Okay.
Yeah. Get those chicken thighs. We're not made out of money here.
What's happening? What is this game?
You've almost lost it, is the answer. So we got one more and then a tiebreaker that I guess wouldn't technically be used.
Jesus is the bread.
Why didn't they use bread?
So you got 2.5. So this could be the decider. Which of the following ingredients was not used to create blood and gore effects in the film?
Shut the fuck up.
Which one was not used? Out of Caro syrup, oatmeal, non-dairy creamer, creamed corn, marshmallow, snakes, and beef and barley stew.
What? Snakes and... Okay.
Caro syrup.
There are so many options here.
Okay, so I'll go over them again. I'll go slower. Caro syrup, which is corn syrup. I mean, that's a gimme. Oatmeal, non-dairy creamer, creamed corn, marshmallow, snakes, and beef and barley stew.
I'm just going to take a page out of your book and say they don't have the budget to just be throwing snakes all over the place. I'm going to say snakes.
Wrong.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, they use snakes and cockroaches in the some of the effects, like the stop motion stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so which...
The one that's not used is beef and barley stew.
I'm so exasperated with this game.
All right, I'll give you... It's technically the tiebreaker, but I'll give you one last chance. Question 7. You came out of the gate hard. 2.5 points immediately. And then you just shit the bed.
How dare you do this to me?
True or false, the majority of the cast and crew are all from Michigan.
True.
Okay, you win.
Yay! Just barely by a
the hairs of your chinny chin chin.
Just a little ball hair there.
Mm-hmm.
I would just like to take a moment and say that we received a very nice comment that I like a lot on our recent quick take review of A Quiet Place Part 2. Surreptitious streamer commented and said, "Y'all are clearly good friends, and it warms the cockles of my heart."
Aww.
I
love that phrase.
I love that whole comment. It's just and on those quick take reviews, we always get a lot of nice comments that are like, "I'm so happy you guys are back at the theater."
I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop of just like,
you fucking suck,
you fucking fat pig, go on a diet, shitbird.
Well,
that's going to happen.
Bryce has revealed his true terror. Please do not exploit it.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening to the episode.
Thanks to our patrons for suggesting this episode. If you'd like to suggest episodes for us to watch, of course you can hit us up and say, hey, you should watch, but the only way you're ever going to get a movie reviewed from us with a request is to head on over to our Patreon and become a Patreon member and then vote once a month.
There's 3 different ways that have been successful at getting a request on. There's heavy political campaigning.
Yes.
For certain movies, to where you turn our entire fan base against us.
As only Magnus has been able to accomplish twice with Bye Bye Man and Rats.
Then there's, we never reviewed Bye Bye Man. We watched it on the Saturday.
No, we reviewed it. In fact, we
reviewed
two
it twice.
reviews
That's
of
right.
it.
Damn.
It's the only movie we've reviewed double.
And then the other method is being a patron to the level that you can suggest movies and vote on them as a group.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is, as mentioned previously in this episode, is the Spoop Lord tier and Patreon, where you can just tell us to do one.
That one's never been achieved.
That's guaranteed.
And you will go down if you become a Spoop Lord on Patreon. Will go down in horror movie talk history.
Yeah,
we'll talk about you ad infinitum into the ages.
This is your opportunity to have like that Wu-Tang album experience. What's the album's name? I can't remember.
It's something about the Chambers, something.
The one that was bought by Wall Street Bro. What's his name? You know, those things. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Google it. Google Wu-Tang. Yeah, Shkreli. Martin Shkreli.
The Wu-Tang album that there's only one physical copy of in existence is called Once Upon a Time in Shaolin.
So you could have that experience with a custom horror movie talk episode.
That's right.
That's going to happen.
Someone will be first, and that person will be legendary. Legendary.
The first one that gets that tier and the 10th person that gets that tier, we will make it a point to make a big deal out of.
Oh my God. Every single one of them I will make a big deal out of. Are you fucking kidding me?
So thanks again. Visit us on social media. Go to horrormovietalk.com. Listen to all our past episodes and get links to all the things. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye. We love you. Bye.
Looking for a podcast full of burps and gas, perverted cast, skinny and fat? Look no further. Horror Movie Talk is accidentally funny, begs to donate money, fake sponsors for dummies, and so much more. New episodes every hump day. They'll pickle your dickle for foreplay. Patreon members have it your way. Vote for a movie every month for the review. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating Jello. Pudding Pop done gave Bryce flatulence. Drain addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner Robinson. Kiss Bryce Hansen. Look at them hot kids, Chris Henson. Masturbate with a crucifix, exorcist. Face hugger, chest bursters, alien. Linda Blair peed on Sigourney Weaver. I know it's true cause it came from social media. Patrick Bateman can't understand you. Stab you to death for rotten apple reviews. Opinionated podcaster with a doctorate. Spookology, doctor of philosophy. Bad gastritis, need colostomy. Turn Patreons into human centipedes. David Doobie Day, scare no expert. And Goble fucks hard, professional sexpert. Afterpods, taglines, and porno flicks. American Psycho, them guys pretty sick. Choppa choppa, don't just stare at it, eat it like a taco. Put your tongue through the phone hoodie, Picasso. Look at them hot kids, swear not a pedo. Got me too'd with Cosby eating Jello. Pudding Pops done gave Bryce flatulence. Train addict Dave doesn't give a shit. 1 through 10, is it horrible or excellent? Oil me up, daddy, is dinner rumps. Nothing good happens in the woods. Always get more than you bargain for. Got a pickle to dickle, machines tickle bitties. Killer on the phone, ain't no Sharon Stone. Vancouver, Portland, Oregon, and organs. Corona, COVID, curse, Lorona. Green River Killer, because reasons. Hallway of poop monster kids screaming. Ain't your ordinary dingleberry itinerary. 30-day shutter and jump scares ain't fucking scary. Time for the spoilers with jokes and tropes. Use their white socks to catch their loads. Just show 'em one titty, pretty. Paganism, you should work movie talk. Hold on, they don't like Halloween.